You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 18th of December. PM Modi hails India-Oman trade deal as turning point. Imran Khan's sisters booked under anti-terror law in Pakistan. And Sri Lanka forecasts 5% growth in 2026, aided by post-cyclone reconstruction. And now for all the details. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hailed the India-Oman trade deal as a game-changer for bilateral trade and investment. The two sides signed the free trade agreement on Thursday to bolster economic partnership.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday highlighted India's economic reforms and growing global competitiveness while addressing the India-Oman Business Forum in Muscat, as he called the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement a turning point in bilateral ties. Speaking to business leaders from both countries, Modi said India had fundamentally reshaped its economy over the past decade. Modi described the Arabian Sea as a historic bridge linking the two nations, noting centuries-old maritime and cultural ties. Modi also noted that India and Oman are marking 70 years of diplomatic relations this year, calling it both a celebration and a launch pad for deeper cooperation. Prime Minister Modi arrived in Oman on Wednesday for a two-day visit at the invitation of Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. The two leaders emphasized the agreement will increase the trade between India and Oman, boost investment, catalyze economic diversification, unlock opportunities in all major sectors of the economy, enhance economic growth and generate employment. Modi's visit, the final leg of his three-nation tour after Jordan and Ethiopia, was focused on strengthening the India-Oman strategic partnership, with a strong emphasis on economic and commercial ties.
And amid Afghanistan's freezing winters, humanitarian needs are surging as shortfall of aid funds, record refugee returns and multiple earthquakes. India's Union Health Minister JP Nadda held a productive meeting with Afghanistan's Minister of Public Health Maulvi Noor Jalal Jalali. The meeting focused on humanitarian and healthcare assistance to Afghanistan. During the meeting, India reaffirmed its commitment to continued humanitarian support for Afghanistan, with emphasis on long-term supply of medicines and health assistance as a key pillar of bilateral engagement. As part of this engagement, a symbolic handover of cancer medicines and vaccines was carried out, reflecting India's commitment to supporting the medical needs of the Afghan people. International aid to war-torn Afghanistan has dwindled significantly since 2021, when US-led forces exited the country and the Taliban regained power. Pakistan police on Wednesday registered a case under the Anti-Terrorism Act against the sisters of former Prime Minister Imran Khan and dozens of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf supporters. The case was filed after a protest held on Tuesday when authorities refused to allow Khan's family members and lawyers to meet him. In response, Khan's sisters, along with PTI leaders and workers, staged a sit-in outside the jail to protest the restrictions on meetings with the former Prime Minister. According to police, a first information report was registered at a police station in Rawalpindi, naming Imran Khan's sisters Alima Khan and Noreen Niazi, along with several PTI leaders and supporters. Imran Khan has remained in jail since August 2023 and faces multiple legal cases following his removal from office through a no-confidence vote in April 2022. The last reported meeting with the former Prime Minister took place on 2nd of December when his sister Uzma Khan was permitted to see him at Adiala jail. Moving on. Residents in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir are on the streets protesting prolonged power cuts during the peak winter season. Anger is mounting as locals accuse authorities of mismanagement and denying them basic electricity despite local power generation.
Widespread protests erupted across Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir this week over prolonged electricity outages, with residents taking to the streets in Rawalakot, Sadnodi, Kaigala and nearby areas. Demonstrators raised slogans against the Pakistan government, local administration and the power department, accusing them of years of mismanagement and neglect. Locals say daily power cuts lasting up to 14 hours have made life extremely difficult during the harsh winter season. Protesters allege that electricity generated from local hydropower projects is being diverted to other regions, while PJK residents are left without reliable supply.
महकमा बरकियात इतना बड़ा बजट, करोड़ों रुपए का बजट ये महकमा बरकियात इन मरम्मतियों के नाम पे अयाशी करता है। किसी भी वर्कशॉप के अंदर पूरे आजाद कश्मीर में इनके पास सेकंड फेज मतलब है जो ऑप्शन के तौर पे रखे जाते हैं। ट्रांसफार्मर के अगर जल गया तो दूसरा आ जाता है, किसी के पास कोई ट्रांसफार्मर नहीं है। ये क्या करते हैं कि वही ट्रांसफार्मर आएगा 4 घंटे 5 घंटे, और दूसरी बात साइटों पे तो कई दिन कई हफ्ते ट्रांसफार्मर वापस नहीं आते। हम आपसे एक हिसाब लेंगे। आपने क्या समझ रखा है कि जो गाँव में या साइटों पे हमारे जो लोग रहते हैं क्या वो इंसान नहीं है?
The outages have disrupted schools, online classes and businesses, worsening economic hardships. Traders shut shops in protest and roads were blocked, reflecting growing public anger. Protest leaders warned that if uninterrupted power supply is not restored and local needs prioritized, the agitation could intensify, holding authorities responsible for any escalation.
India on Wednesday summoned Bangladesh High Commissioner to New Delhi, Riaz Hamidullah, to convey its strong concerns over what it described as a deteriorating security situation in Bangladesh, particularly threats directed at the Indian High Commission in Dhaka. India's Ministry of External Affairs in a statement said the Bangladeshi envoy was informed of India's serious concerns regarding the worsening security environment. Tensions rose further on Wednesday as a group of protesters began marching toward the Indian High Commission in Dhaka, raising several demands, including the return of ex-Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Indian officials also cited inflammatory remarks by extremist elements who delivered a speech containing strong anti-India rhetoric. The diplomatic move came just 2 days after Bangladesh summoned the Indian High Commissioner in Dhaka over what it termed incendiary statements made by Sheikh Hasina from Indian soil. Relations between the two countries have become strained since Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus took office after Sheikh Hasina fled to India in August last year, with Dhaka repeatedly seeking Hasina's extradition.
And beyond Bangladesh, when we look at the neighborhood, definitely India is our neighbor, and we believe that here is a relationship which is in our shared interest. We have mutual interdependence, and we believe whatever issues and matters that we have at hand, or we may have at hand in the future, we can address anything under the sun based on mutual trust, respect, dignity, and based on the principles of benefit sharing.
Moving on, Sri Lanka expects its economy to grow over by 5% next year, matching this year's pace and beating IMF projections, driven largely by post-cyclone reconstruction, a senior minister told Reuters. Cyclone Ditwa, which struck in late November, killed nearly 650 people and affected around 10% of the population, causing extensive damage to infrastructure, agriculture and tea estates. Rebuilding costs are estimated at up to $7 billion for the island nation, still recovering from its 2022 economic crisis. Sri Lanka is receiving IMF bailout funds along with emergency assistance from global agencies and foreign governments. This month, the Asian Development Bank committed $200 million and the World Bank $120 million, while the IMF is expected to approve $200 million in emergency funding on 19th of December. The government plans supplementary spending of 500 billion rupees and has earmarked 1.4 trillion rupees for capital expenditure in 2026. Authorities also plan a donor conference in January and are banking on foreign investment, including a $3.4 billion Sinopec refinery near Hambantota port.
With regard to Sinopec, almost that is finalized. So we hope we would be able to sign this agreement and commence this project either end of this month or maybe early next year, 2026. In addition, like the reconstruction, restoration of the infrastructure, railway, transportation and other basic infrastructure in the education, health and all those things will also add to the economic growth. Though they are not a strategic investment, they are the needy investment at this particular point in time. And again, the livelihood is really damaged. Many people, 500 billion, so that would be a rough estimate that is more than enough to carry out the basic things, execute the basic things.
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.